is the best innovation to encounter all the problems. EmBsome is the PEGylated thermal-responsive Embelin-loaded liposomes for effective targeting strategy against methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. In this study, the isolated compound Embelin has been chosen, which is extracted from the Embellia ribes plant. This isolated compound has antibacterial activity, which has been proven in my in vivo research study. Besides, Embelin also offers lower toxic effect compared to vancomycin. The isolated compound Embelin is then encapsulated in the nanocarrier. Nanocarrier is one of the best choice of effective drug delivery strategies which act as a transport towards the targeted destination, which is the infected region. In this case, liposomes, spherical shaped vesicle, which is made up of phospholipid bilayer, has been employed. Thus, the isolated compound will be encapsulated in the middle between the phospholipid bilayer and will remain in the vesicle until it is delivered to the infected site. Besides that, in order to increase the bioavailability, the thermal-responsive liposome has been employed as it has special characteristics of thermal sensitivity where the bursting of the liposome and the delivery will be enhanced when it reaches the higher temperature region, which is the infected site. This delivery strategy can also reduce and minimize the toxicity. This product can be administered intravenously with lower dosage and frequency compared to other antibiotics as it offers higher bioavailability and can retain longer in the body. Thus, it makes this treatment plan affordable and cost-effective compared to the others. This product also can be formulated and delivered by topical administration as creams. The creams can directly be applied to the open wounds, which will give higher healing and treatment rate. So for the result and data interpretation, I start with the observation of morphology under the transmission electron microscopy. So this is the machine that I use to observe the morphology of my formulations. So for the result, I observed the spherical shaped vesicles which size below 200 nanometer with double bond ring that represent phospholipid bilayer. Next, I also calculate the encapsulation efficiency in percentage where I measure the wavelength of the sample solution inside the dialysis tube under the spectrophotometer. After all, I observe that the encapsulation efficiency for my formulations and also Embelin liposome formulations is around 93%. However, my formulations are showing better encapsulation efficiency. Besides, I also observed the functional group presence and the Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy or FTIR. From the graph, we can observe that functional group in raw Embelin are present in both Embelin liposomes and also DPPC Embelin liposomes formulations, which is my product. Next, I also observe and calculate the cumulative drug release of the formulations in 72 hours, where I run the dialysis method for 72 hours and measure the wavelength of the solution outside the dialysis tube to observe the amount of drug release over the time. From the tabulated graph, we can see that it's showing zero order kinetics and the steep line showing the initial burst of the liposomes. We can see that DPPC Embelin liposome, which is my product, are showing 70% of release of drug compared to Embelin liposome that shows only 66.5%. Thus, we can see that my formulations are showing higher drug release over 72 hours. I also performed stability study on the zeta potential, zeta average and polydispersity index in day 0, day 4 and day 7 of prepared formulations. I did the observation by running the sample under Anton Pa light sizer 500 machine to observe the data. Then I make comparison by using two-case multiple comparison test. So this one is for zeta average, and we can see significant difference between day 0 and day 7 for both formulations, where I believe because of the reconstitutions of the formulations. Next, the two-case multiple comparison tests are showing comparison of zeta potential that shows no significant difference, which project good stability. Same goes to the polydispersity index, which also shows good stability where no significant difference are observed. Last but not least, I also perform in vitro study where I observe the MIC, minimum inhibitory concentration, and also MBC for both formulations. For MBC study, we can observe only one area have growth of bacteria on the mannitol salt agar from my desired formulations. However, for the Embelin liposomes are showing two growth area of the bacteria, which means my formulations are showing better bacteriostatic activity. And this is the minimum inhibitory concentration, which is MIC study, where we observe on the well plate. And then we tabulate the data, which shows the ratio of MIC over MBC, which can rank from Embelin formulations equals to the PPC Embelin liposome, which is better from Embelin liposome itself. This is the estimation of cost. Main impact of EmBsome is to make Malaysia as a leading nation that offer variety of treatment options for MRSA infection, which can cater a larger group of patients and actually will generate income to our country, also reduce the burden of healthcare workers.